Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. We're taking your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in and we will talk. Well, bad news for those of you that didn't get in on it, but the Goal Planner, the 2021 Goal Planner by Christy, is completely sold out.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be any more ordered. That's it. We're done.
We already placed a reorder, and those sold out.
Yeah, we already went that route. But the good news is the Living True devotional is 40 Days to Get Back to You is doing extremely well. Hit the bestseller list, and this thing is powerful.
Yeah, this is such a pain point for people, and it really has come so much out of not only my own experience, Dave, especially in the last 6 to 8 years, but also women I've talked with all over the country, all stages of life, whether they work outside the home, inside the home, run their own business, they're a mom of littles, or they don't have kids. It doesn't matter. It's just so easy to lose yourself in your own life. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but whether it's you lose yourself in your business or trying to build your career, or maybe a really difficult season where you feel like you lose your identity and just the difficulty of it all, I feel like we all go through that. And so that's why I was so excited to write this devotional, because it's 40 days. So it's very easily digestible. It's not a big commitment. It's 40 days to help you reset and refocus on the truth of who you are and what God says about you, to really help you get that sense that you've gotten back to yourself and who you were created to be. So it's been a joy to see this now out in the marketplace and hear the feedback and see how God is speaking to people through this. And I'm just so grateful to get to do it.
And, you know, walking through the emotional and the spiritual impacts of the economic shutdown,
right,
and all the career impact, the careers that have been impacted, and walking through the just the fear that a lot of people have had over the pandemic issues. And it is a good year to have in our rearview mirror.
Yes.
And this might be a way to kind of, I don't know, step on the accelerator and make sure that 2021 is in your, or 2020 is in your rearview mirror completely. So, I mean, 40 days to get back to you. It could be that you're getting back to you after experiencing 2020.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is even if you are a person of faith and you say, oh, I know my identity is who I am as a child of God, we still have things in our world that we get a sense of identity from. So our work, it's like, this is who I am, this is what I do. And you've seen so many people lose their jobs this year, and they felt like they lost a piece of themselves in that difficult time. Or even something as simple as being social, and you're always going and you're always with friends, you're always extroverted. That's a part of who you are, and you didn't get to feel that, experience that this year as you were, maybe isolated, lonely, shut down. And so there's all these things that are our sense of normal this year that were removed, and we're going, okay, what's left of me? Who am I outside of these things that I found joy in? And they weren't bad things, but it gave me a sense of who I am. And now who am I when those things are not true anymore? And so I love this opportunity to dig into scripture to remind you in any season, difficult seasons or awesome seasons, that this is who you are and this is what God says about you. And I think it's just a great message to go into a new year with, for sure.
The devotional is called Living True, 40 Days to Get Back to You. You can check it out at DaveRamsey.com. We're running a $10 sale on almost all of our books there as well, so be sure and check all that. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Abigail is in Springfield, Missouri. Hi, Abigail. What's up?
Hi, Dave. Not so much. How about you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help you?
Yes, sir. Well, me and my husband are just starting out with your program. We're pre-baby step one. We're getting everything sorted out. Was just wondering what kind of advice you would have for someone starting out, and what you would recommend and everything.
Yeah. Well, good. Congratulations. We're honored to have you in the tribe here. I think what ends up happening is the first thing you end up doing is you try to figure out where you actually are. And that's stuff like making a list of your debts and starting to write out your first budget where you're actually going to tell your money what to do and make it behave. And and then we're going to give you a clear path that we call the baby steps to walk through. And
Yes, sir.
you may have heard of that already.
Yes, I've been doing a decent amount of research the last 2 days.
I'm curious what led to you finding Dave and the baby steps, Abigail. Kind of how'd you get to this point?
Actually saw someone post on one of the Facebook pages that I was at. Her name's Julie Goheen, and she was sharing her journey and how they became debt-free, and was talking to her, and she offered to send me the starter book and everything, and been watching your YouTube channel for the last day.
Okay,
and
wow.
everything, just getting more and more excited about it.
Well,
That's cool.
I'm honored, yeah.
That's fun to see someone else do it. You see someone else on the other side of being debt-free. You're like, oh, could I do that? That's awesome.
Yeah, maybe I could have that happen to me. And I think you can, Abigail. So, well, again, welcome aboard. So you're going to sit down, do your written game plan, your written budget, and you've already seen that stuff on YouTube, and lay out your debt snowball and begin to attack your debts. It's imperative that you and your husband work together. All of our data, Christy, shows that couples who work together on almost any part of their life,
right? Yeah,
is they're more effective at that part. Money,
right,
parenting, careers,
right,
building a business, or whatever. I mean, if you guys are working together, it just makes all the difference in the world. And that means one of you is not a spectator.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because I feel like that whenever you are having these conversations, you'll typically have one of the things that Abigail said, she said, I'm getting excited. I was like, oh, good, because the excitement motivation goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like, I always hear you say this, Dave, you say you got to get fired up. You got to get mad, sick and tired of being sick and tired. You can wander into debt. You cannot wander out. So emotion does play a piece in this. You can't be just indifferent and get out of debt. Like, you've got to actually care, because change is hard. But it's interesting in marriage, I think a lot of times what we see is there's one person that's excited and on board and one person that is less excited. And so I think what's cool is if you start having these conversations on the front end, Abigail, where you and your spouse are talking about, okay, what are our goals? What are our dreams? What would it look like for us to be debt free? What could we do if we didn't have payments? And then you both start out excited together. You both start out not only communicating on the budget, but also with the enthusiasm that you both need to bring to the table to actually make the change.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to bust into some stuff that's going to be hard.
Yes.
You're going to have to make some choices differently than you've ever made. And we always say you have to live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. It works, but it's hard.
Yeah.
This process that we teach is extremely effective, has a very high probability of you succeeding, but only to the extent that you bust into it.
Yeah.
It is easy to understand what we teach you to do. It is hard to change your life.
Right. And it's interesting. It's interesting too, because we always say, like, of all the people, the millions of people that have become debt free, using our program, it's amazing how none of them are going, man, I really miss those payments. I really miss being in debt. They never look back with regret. And so if you could see what it will feel like on the other side, it will give you that motivation and enthusiasm to push through the hard stuff initially, because it is so worth it when you get there.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Well, you keep listening, Miss Abigail, and we're here to help you. Call anytime if we can help you on this journey. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian healthcare ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
CHM is not health insurance, but it is Christians helping other Christians by sharing each other's medical bills.
The medical bill sharing from CHM was exactly the way the website described it. There were no surprises, no bait and switch, no hidden agenda. CHM did everything they said they would by sharing all of our eligible needs.
We like that it's a nonprofit ministry and that we were being better stewards of our money, all while helping other families.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Chrissy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Lindsay's in Portland, Oregon. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Hi, Dave and Christy.
Hi. What's going on?
So, we are wondering, we have about $20,000 extra, and we're trying to decide if we should use that to pay down our current mortgage or if we should put it towards money for a future house to do a down payment.
Pay down the current mortgage.
But then I have to sell contingent or buy contingent.
Yeah.
And in our market, you have to go in, that's really risky.
Well, I mean, you don't have to do it today anyway. So by the time you do it, it might not be that way. That has to do with with the market being hot. If the market's slow, it's not a problem at all. So, you're going to have to sell your house anyway before you buy a house. You have to sell contingent anyway.
No, not if I...
Yeah, I don't want you keeping 2 stinking house payments. That's unwise.
Okay.
That's unwise. So you got to get rid of the house anyway. So, and you're going to get your money back, obviously. They give you the money when
we were just thinking that, buy where we're moving, move out, sell the house, roll that into the new house.
Yeah, that ends up with 2 house payments if this plan of yours doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would never tell you to sign up for 2 house payments. Nope, not a chance. So, 6 months later, you're still cranking 2 house payments. No, now we're going to rent it. Oh, God, no, you really got a disaster. So, no. Nope. You got to get it sold. It has to work that way anyway. You do whatever you want to do. Obviously, you're going to. But but I wouldn't tell you to do that, and I personally wouldn't do that. You've got to be able to get you just can't sign up for 2 house payments. It'll kill you. Chrissy, the number of times we've run into problems with people that are in here in serious financial problems because they did that.
Yeah.
And so it's just made me super leery over the years. Paul is with us. Paul is in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you? Very exciting to finally be talking to you.
You too. How can we help?
Well, here's the thing. So I am 4 months away from being debt-free, and I have zero. I'm 55 years old, and I have zero for retirement. I come out of a bad divorce and had to pay a lot of debt, and so. But I'm 4 months away, and my question is what's the best thing for me to do? I mean, to invest money, to do, I have no idea.
Okay. Well, what we're going to teach you to do is to be debt-free. Then your next goal is to have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then once you've done that, you start investing 15% of your income into retirement. Do you own a home?
No, I do not.
Okay. Are you planning on buying a home?
Well, it's kind of a funny thing. I got remarried, and the woman, the love of my life, who I got married to, she owns her home. So that's where I am.
Okay. Well, we are married, and we have a paid-for house.
Right.
Okay. Cool. That's a pretty good deal you got there.
Well, right. Well, it's not as cut and dry as that, but.
Well, let me. Have y'all combined your finances, Paul? Because you're using a lot of her and I statements here, like we got separate things going on.
No, ma'am. No,
okay.
Ma'am. She was married before, and obviously I was married before. And when we went into the relationship, she wanted a prenup, so that's what we did. Or that's what I did, and
that does not prohibit you from working together to live your dreams.
Yes, sir.
A prenup does not make you roommates.
Well, and that is the word that I used with her one time. We had gotten into a discussion of that, and she has it in her head that she wants to keep it this way, and because she said there's no upside for me if, we combine everything, and because I'm self-employed and she makes a lot more money than I do.
Okay. I think you're going to struggle to build wealth.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes, sir.
we're not working together is essential. It's one of the data points that we see with families that become wealthy is they work together, and they overcome the wounds and the hurts of the past in order to do that. And you're either going to, it's up to you. You can do it or not do it. But I'm just telling you that everything we know about what we do says that couples that work together have a much higher probability of living their dreams because they are sharing their dreams.
And this is not just financial. I hear it in his voice, Dave. This is whether it's because she's been hurt from her past marriage and she wants to protect herself in this new one, but there is some distrust, not even just at the financial level, that is, I think, playing out in the finances. And to me, that's worth digging into, Paul, with a counselor or however you guys want to go about it. It's not just about the numbers and who manages which account and who has savings or paid for house. It's if y'all can't be a team in a marriage, that's a bigger problem than having separate bank accounts. I would say, aside from the obvious financial benefit that Dave has already talked about, I would dig into that, because even hearing it in your voice, it sounds a lot of like her and me, and we're very separate type of language, and that's a little bit concerning to me.
Yeah. It's but aside from that, the answer to your overall question is you start investing since you don't have a house payment, and I'm guessing that you're not having to support kids in college, or you would have mentioned that, then you're down to all you can. You have taken the shortest path to building your own nest egg, which is to become debt free. And so normally we would put you at baby step 4 after this, but you don't have a house payment, so really you're at baby step 7. And so once you get your emergency fund in place, you're going to max out all retirement that you can get your hands on. Max out a Roth IRA with a SmartVestor Pro, max out your 401k at work, or you said you're self-employed, you look at a simple IRA there, or a SEP, depending on your situation. SmartVestor Pro can help you with both of those. So depending on your income, you can really chunk a bunch of money away quickly. And you'd be amazed how big a nest egg in 10 years from 55 to 65 that you can build now that you don't have any payments, and you can focus on that and concentrate on that. It will be much more efficient and have a higher probability of winning if you'll go ahead and deal with the issues in the relationship as well that Christy's talking about. Just, again, we do not see people winning at this. So let me just back up, folks, from this, because it feels like I've done this twice already in this hour. Haven't I?
Similar question.
Feels like that. When we studied the millionaires, over 10,000 of them, and we did in-depth research and surveying and questioning of them, one of the things that came out of that, a lot of things that came out of that were not a surprise. And this was not a surprise. But what was a surprise was how high the percentages were of spouses working together, sharing the dream. One of them's not dragging the other one along. One of them's not, you're not treating their household separately. We work together. We achieve our goals together. We set big dreams. We both dream. We both fight to get there. And that unity, the power of that unity, was apparent in very high percentages.
Yeah.
In the number of millionaires that we researched, over 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
And so it's not like the data is inconclusive. It's conclusive.
Right.
And so can you do it without working with your spouse? Yeah, you can do it. But 80% of the people that make it don't they work together.
Right.
And so and they credit their spouse as one of the reasons that they are able to get the thing done. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. John is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hey, John, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. How are you doing today?
Great. How can we help?
Hey, had a question just regarding a career change I'm considering. So my wife and I are currently working through the baby steps. We're almost paid through all of our debt. We will be by next month, so we're really excited about that, and appreciate you guys on what you teach. My question is, though, the company I'm working at right now, I make really good money, really happy with it, but about a third of the income that I get from the job is in the form of stock grants or restricted stock units. Mm-hmm. The stock is doing well. We're performing well. We're in a stable industry. But, the base salary is lower, and I'm currently considering another position at another company, also a great opportunity. It would technically over the next 2 years maybe pay a little bit less, but it would be a much, much higher base and commission package. It just wouldn't have the stock that comes with it. So I was just wondering, wanting your guidance on, how you'd help someone determine maybe which path to go down from a financial perspective.
How long is the stock restricted?
So it's going to be vesting over the next 3.5 years, and I get to cash it out every quarter. So it's a 1/16 cash out every quarter for the next 3.5 years. So it's going to be netting around $10,000 every quarter after taxes.
Mm-hmm. So what is your income now, counting the stock?
Counting the stock, as long as it stays where it's at, next year my income will be around $200,000.
And what would your income be at the other place?
About 160 to 170.
What field are you? What field are you in?
Software sales.
Okay. All right. 10 years from now, you're 10 years older. Your kids are 10 years older. Which one are you glad you did?
Probably the new company I'm considering.
Why?
I think there's more career mobility. It's a bit of an earlier stage company. I think I have the opportunity to advance faster. And I think the company I'm at now, I don't like the idea of so much of my income. It's about a third of my income is rested on a single stock doing well.
Yeah, agreed. A lot of risk there. And the other thing is you're in sales. And so if you add value, you're going to add income. Right?
That's true.
So, I mean, I would talk to the new company and just say, look, I'm struggling with this, and show me what I can do to add enough value to get my income to 200 with you. What have I got to do to cause that to happen?
Okay.
And if they give you some, just show me a path at how I can add so much value that you are smiling when you're paying me 200. Right?
I like that.
Because, I mean, if you bring it, if you work for me and you bring in a whole bunch more money and I share some of it with you, there's no downside to this equation.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, you can control your destiny. So, yeah, I think you've answered your own question. You take this job, but you just work for a clear path rather than a vague sense of, I think I can get my income up. Have them give you some structure on how you can do it. And that's not really a salary negotiation. It's just, how can I add enough value? And then, what have I got to do? And it's, well, if you do a good job, we'll take care of you. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tactically, specifically, What kind of numbers do I need to generate so that I generate $200,000 in income for me? And what have I got to do that's good for you guys that makes you really happy about that? And I don't know, Christy, what can you add to that?
Well, I think one of the points that you made is really good, because a lot of people go into salary negotiations with, I want X, or I need X, or I deserve X, and nobody really cares. What they care about is what you're going to do for them. Yeah. What are you going to do for the company? And so when you come in and say, hey, what can I do? It's a personal responsibility angle. What can I do to get to this for me and for you? And I love that angle, because every leader of any organization is going, oh, okay, they're a go-getter. They get personal responsibility. They're taking initiative. And what's cool is then in this initial conversation, John, like setting the foundation for a potential relationship with this company, you're letting them know where you want to be and where you're working toward. It's not like you worked there for 3 years, wish you made $200,000. You're going, well, I wish I would have gotten there. They're like, we didn't know. You set this plan and this path from the get-go, and then you're both working toward it together, and you make that intent very clear, but from the right posture. Yeah.
The reason I'm taking this is I think this is a wonderful company, and I think it's got a tremendous upside potential. I want that to be a little less vague.
Yeah.
And so this is you talking to them.
Right.
And so what I want to do is I want to know that I can add value to this place beyond the deal we're talking about, that I can be more valuable than that to you, and that I've sold more stuff, I've executed whatever, I've created relationships, I've led a team. What is it that I need to do to be valuable to the organization, to that level, to the $200,000 level? And they'll tell you. And then it's not a matter of, oh, they promised me after 6 months I'd be so-and-so.
Right.
No, they promised me when I did this. Now, did you do it?
Right.
If you did it, then you're going to get the money, unless they've not got integrity.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. Great stuff. Yeah, take that job. Garrett's in Alexandria, Virginia. Hi, Garrett. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I just finished college last May, and I recently started my new job, and it's currently time to enroll for next year's benefits. I'm currently on baby step number 4, and I'm calling specifically about life insurance. My company offers a group universal policy for up to 10 times my income for about $22 a month.
No.
I'll be getting... Sorry?
No, you don't buy universal life policies.
All right. Well, so
let me help you.
Remind us why, because I forget too. I forget.
Now let me tell you why, okay? So that you don't
Sure.
you don't have to do what Dave Ramsey says. But here's the thing: they have built into them an investment side of it that you're paying extra to get. The investment portion of this sucks. The other thing that's built into a universal policy is the life insurance side is what's called an ART, an annual renewable term. And what that means is the portion of your dollars that are going to life insurance goes up every year as you get older. So if you buy a life insurance policy that is what we would call pure life insurance, an ART, an annual renewable term. No one does that in the financial planning world anymore, but they still sell them out there. That's purely, this is what it costs to cover you at 32. This is what it costs to cover you at 33. This is what it costs to cover you at 34. This is what it costs, because it does cost more to cover you because you're older and you're more likely to die statistically. Actuarial tables. And they're going to up, so out of your $22, X is going to life insurance, and Y is going to a bad investment. Next year, X that's going to life insurance is larger, so less is going to the investments, to the point that if this is your whole plan, someday the entire $22 will be absorbed by just the life insurance cost, and there'll be nothing going to the investment. And then it gets worse than that. It starts taking out of the investment to cover the fact that you're even short later. And that's if you keep it years and years and years and years and years, which you probably wouldn't do. It's a group plan. It's a piece of crap. Don't buy it. Go get life insurance. Get 15 to 20 year level term life insurance. Is the cheapest way to handle your life insurance needs. And when you leave your company, if you've had a medical problem, you won't have trouble getting insurance because you already have insurance. And so you need to you just avoid that stuff. So go to xanderinsurance.com, get a quick, easy quote, and you'll just do a whole lot better there. So, Christy, 2 problems with that equation. Number 1, the universal life product is a bad product, and I explain why. Number 2, you got all your insurance at work.
Yeah.
And if you get diabetes or have a heart problem or a cancer scare and you leave work, you cannot take it. It's not portable.
Yeah.
It does not go with
Yeah.
you. And now you're uninsurable when you leave. You can't get, at your new job, you can't get insurance.
Yeah.
So you always want your insurance, or at least a larger portion of your insurance, to be independent of work. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Linda is in Los Angeles. Hi, Linda. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi. It's actually very funny. I just bumped into your channel for the first time on YouTube, and I'm hearing people ask for advice. So I really need some major advice. I'm almost going through a divorce, and because of financial issues. Bottom line is, I was a single mom with 2 boys before I remarried. As a single mom, I was scared to lose my kids to the street, so I made them a promise and told them that if they went to college full-time, as long as God blessed me with health and employment, I would financially take care of them while they completed school. So they kept their end of the deal. They got accepted into really great schools, and I wanted to, as their mom, to keep my end of the deal. Problem is, I got remarried, and my husband's completely against me helping them financially. They're now 24 and 21. One has 1 semester left at at TCU. The next one has a year left at UCLA.
So have you supported them all this time?
I have.
Okay, good. And he doesn't. And they're almost done. And he's objecting to you finishing the support.
100%. He
Why?
will not contribute financially to our family because he's upset that I contribute towards my children. But just the main point that I was calling about was, I don't ask him for anything. I pay for everything for my children. He's never had to contribute anything towards their school, towards any of their expenses. But his frame of thinking is, I'm not going to contribute to the family if you're contributing to your children that are already over 20. You need to cut the string and they need to fly on their own. But I told him I made this promise and I just really want to finish it for them. So he was like, it's the kids or our marriage. So he just moved out a few months ago, and I'm just literally torn because I don't know what to do. But I do know what to do. I want to continue helping my children.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Linda, I'm really sorry you're in this situation.
It hurts. Yeah.
So am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
I am.
No, you're not wrong. No.
And he tells me all the time, because I'm a Christian woman, and he tells me this all the time. You're Christian and you need to submit to your husband, and if I don't approve of it, you need to respect me.
Let me help you. Let me help you with this. Okay, if your husband's doing cocaine and wants you to pay for it, and he says you're supposed to submit to me, then that's not what the Bible's talking about. Okay, so submit does not mean endorsing misbehavior. Okay, that's not what it means at all. And so he probably needs to get a little better Bible study going because he didn't understand that concept. But and he probably needs to get the idea that you're supposed to serve each other. Now, what I'm interested in, and number one, let me just tell you, I don't think this is going to go well with what you've described. I think you're on the path of your marriage ending, and let me help you. It is not because you supported your children. Okay, your marriage is ending because it was not built on mutual respect and agreement. Your marriage is ending because you had made a deal prior to getting married. He knew about that deal, and then after getting married was not okay with it and tried to change it.
And punished you for it.
And punish you for it. So your marriage is not ending because you're supporting your kids. He's framing the narrative that way to try to box you into you're choosing between me and them. But that's not what's happening at all. That's not it at all. This has to do with him not getting his little way. And that's what's going on.
It's incredibly manipulative as well,
yes.
Linda. It's like to say
beyond belief.
To say that you have to choose between supporting an adult child or me is incredibly
that you knew about before you got married.
Yeah, he is the one that is spinning up this narrative and put you in this position that is not actually what's going on, and he put you in this position. You did not put yourself in this position.
So, if you're my little sister, Linda, here's what I would tell you to do. I would tell you to be sure you are seeing a marriage counselor, and if he wants to go, that it would be great. You can have a mediator to try to help you guys learn through how to communicate and how to work and navigate through things we disagree on. Okay? And if he won't go, you should go anyway, because you need someone in your corner reminding you that you're not crazy and you're not wrong. Okay?
Okay.
And if you're not in a good church, get in one, and you need to get in touch with the church staff and sit with a pastor and tell them what's going on. So you've got people praying for you that love you well and that are explaining that submission does not mean endorsing misbehavior or endorsing bad concepts. I've been married 38 years as a believer, as a person of faith, and I have never one time told my wife she needed to do something because that I wanted her to do because she was supposed to submit. I don't have to. It doesn't come up. Because we're in agreement, we're communicating, we're navigating the decision-making together, and she knows I have her best interest at heart. We don't know that about your husband. He does not seem to have your best interest at heart. He seems to be selfish, with the story you've told anyway. So, no, you're not crazy, darling. You're just going through hell. And I'm sorry. It hurts, and it hurts to be torn between, to be put in a position that you feel like you're torn between two different competing relationships. And that's not fair. And it's wrong. Especially, there's no way he doesn't know this deal happened prior. He didn't come into this blind.
No.
So, that's so hurtful. So hard. Here's what I will tell you guys out there. It seems like we've had a little bit of a marriage hour
theme
here
today. Yep.
Christy, we have experienced this. That, I use Proverbs 31 a lot. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain. Now, for you ladies, that means virtuous. It does not give you permission to be the Holy Spirit. That's not your job. You're virtuous, and you're kind, and you're thoughtful, and you're smart, and you're entrepreneurial, and you're energetic, and you're adding value to the conversation. And when Sharon Ramsey does that, because she has done that for 38 years, is one of the reasons we're so vastly freaking successful here. Is that pulling together thing, that unity thing, and to discount the voice of either spouse is just it's so destructive. It does not work, and it does not cause success.
Yeah, and it's amazing too how I feel like there's like what I hear in some of those conversations from Linda. It's like he wants to be respected, he wants to be submitted to, whatever, but he's not taking actions that are worthy of respect or submission. And anytime any man throws around, you need to submit to me because the Bible says, that's a red flag right there. Can I just say that? Because the men that you want to follow are not men that are throwing that around, and it's not the way that you love and lead in a marriage, using that kind of language, punishing your wife. I'm not going to contribute to the family financially because you're doing something I don't like. Okay, and so I think that one of the things that, even just as we're kind of talking about this, and it applies to lots of marriages, not just the unity piece and the communication piece, but the respect piece. Respecting that other person's voice, respecting their values, being willing to lean into the conflict and have the conversation until you can get on the same page versus I'm just going to do whatever I want to.
We don't make decisions at the Ramseys of size without being in agreement. And right at this moment, we have a decision that she and I are not in agreement on. And so when we're not in agreement, what we do is nothing.
That's right. The other person's not going to be like, well, too bad. See you later. I'm just going to go do what I want to. That's such a healthy thing to sit in that, because it shows the person, I love you enough to work through this with you because I want to do it with you, right, then not with you.
I'm going to wait on you to catch up.
Yeah, please. I want you to see my side, please.
But we just, if there's a charity and a ministry we're going to give to, one of us doesn't feel good about it, we don't until we do enough research or get more options, and both of us either don't feel good about it then or both of us start to feel good about it.
Yeah.
And then we can move forward. But we have to have agreement to move forward on major financial decisions. When you don't, you're going to struggle financially.
Yeah.
Good hour, Christy. Well done.
Thanks for having me.
James Childs and Kelly in the booth. Well done. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. Chris Hogan, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today here on the air. We'll take your calls at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Yoon is with us in San Francisco. Hi, Yoon. How are you?
Hi, Dave and Chris. I'm a little bit nervous, so I'll just read from my note.
Okay.
My husband and I are in our late 30s and in baby step 7. We have a household income of about $300K. We'd like to buy a primary house with cash, but wanted to ask whether you had a formula to calculate how much we could spend as a percentage of our net worth, which is about $2 million.
Good for you.
Ooh. So you guys have been intentional. Yoon, how much have you all saved for a down payment on the home?
Oh, well,
you would use some of your $2 million net worth?
Right. So I would say about $1 million of it is in investments. So I guess technically not in retirement.
Right. Okay. And you do not own a home today?
We do. It was a pre-Ramsey house. It's currently being rented out, and it's long-distance landlording, and we're trying to get rid of it. That's a whole nother.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, what we have found when we have talked to, we did a book with Chris that he did called Everyday Millionaires, where we studied 10,000 millionaires. A lot of them were in your range. And so what we can draw from that is what they did, and by and large, they were somewhere between, on a $2 million net worth, they would be somewhere between 25 to 50% of their net worth would be in their house. We did not find them with, we did not find people with $2 million net worth living in a $1.5 million house, though. That'd be 3/4. That'd be 75% of your net worth in your house. That would be unhealthy. And the other thing we found was the larger your net worth, the smaller the percentage of your net worth is in a house. So in other words, if you got $100 million net worth, you would not have 30% in your house. You know, that wouldn't make, that'd be weird. It'd be a very small percentage then. So in your case, you make a lot of money and you're young, and you're in freaking San Francisco. Expensive. So I'm going to be at 50% or less of your net worth in your house. And that aligns with your $1 million that you've got in investments. So I could go up to $1 million pretty comfortably, because 2 years from now, it won't be 50% of your net worth anymore. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the rest of your net worth will grow. Now, your house value will grow, but it won't grow as fast as the rest of your nest egg, because you got this huge income and you're big savers. You've done a wonderful job saving and investing.
Yeah, and you're going to have to stomach the idea of that dollar amount coming out of your net worth, right? As
No, coming out of your investment.
Out of your
Still in the net
investments.
worth.
I mean, so yeah, exactly. Coming out of the investments to write the check. So that's the thing that I'd caution you on, is don't rationalize we'll get a mortgage and we'll just pay it off fast. No. Go with this with cash. And like you said, this long distance landlord plan, that's a recipe for a headache.
You're getting rid of that thing.
I would get that bad boy on the market and get it sold. And maybe you look at adding that along with, what you're doing with your home.
So if you went 750 to $1 million, how does that feel to you?
It's a little scary, honestly, because we want to have kids at some point, and some point soon, actually, in the near future. And so I guess in my mind, my husband's over here talking as the spender. He's talking about wanting to buy a vacation home eventually, wanting to do all this stuff. And I just think, how much should we be saving for, children's, I guess, future?
Right. Well, that's you guys sitting down.
So wait a minute. If you quit and came home to be with kids in the future, how much of the $300K income is you?
Yeah.
About half.
Okay. All right. And so in the future, you might be facing that. So that might cause you to want to dial back from that then. But again, San Francisco, I don't know where you are in that market.
No,
but
they charge for air out there.
It's enough people have left California. There's probably a lot of houses on the market, but the values are going to drop eventually with all the people escaping.
Yeah.
And so, there's a huge migration.
It's
out of there. So the numbers are astronomical.
All right, Dave, I'm going to put you on the spot. How much are you spending?
Anyway, so she's saying she doesn't want to spend as much as I gave her permission.
I know
to.
it. So it's which is rare.
It's okay if you want to dial back, but I don't know what you're buying for $500,000 in the San Francisco market.
That's true.
You might be.
Very true.
You might be. That's probably a median house price there.
Yeah. Easily.
Depending on which suburb you're in.
Now, the husband's going to have to dial back, and he's creating a wish list, not necessarily a to-do list. And so having a vacation home and doing all these things, bless his heart, he doesn't know what kids do when they come on the scene. They cost money. And so have that conversation with him, Yoon, and make that list and that idea, and just do me the favor of this. Whatever you do it with cash.
Yeah.
As you guys are saving up, because like Dave said, you're amazing savers.
You've done a great job.
I think you guys can reach that and still live your dreams.
Yeah. So somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million, and pay cash for the house is the answer to your question.
Sell that rental.
And that rental's on the market.
Yep.
She's already done with it. And whatever equity you've got there is going to come back to you too, obviously. So that's going to be helpful. But you're doing a really, really good job, kiddo. You're really doing well. Excellent job. Open phones at 888-825-5225. 2021 is almost here. I'm going to have the biggest New Year's party just to say goodbye to the dumpster fire year. What a horrible year. It's been great in a lot of ways. I've had a lot of wonderful things happen, but it's just nastiness everywhere. And people, be nice. We've been through a lot this year. All of us have. Breathe as you're preparing for Christmas and the new year. Spend time enjoying who God is. Spend time enjoying who you are, where you're going. Christy Wright has written a brand new devotional called Living True, 40 Days to Get Back to You, and it'll help you rest, reset, and start feeling like you again. Our team is using every reason to give stuff away. You can now pick up our life-changing books and kids' products about 90% off during our week-long Green Monday sale. And the Proximity Principle, Love Your Life, Not Theirs. Audiobooks are only $3. The Everyday Millionaire book by Chris that we were just discussing is $10 sale. Total Money Makeover's $10 sale. So you could buy like a case of books, 10 books or something, for $100. And that takes care of a lot of people's stocking stuffers, I'll tell you. So visit the online store at DaveRamsey.com/store, and you can get these great deals. Be sure you are checking on them and getting all that lined up. So Chris, you're now in my category. All your books are on sale for $10. It's a little bit It's a little bit embarrassing that we sell them for $10.
Yeah, I'm going to have to talk to you at the break about that, Dave. That's too low.
Well, mine are that low,
It's
so
too
you
low.
can't bitch about it.
Oh.
So.
Well, there's that. There's the conversation we just had at the break, ladies and
This
gentlemen.
is the Dave Ramsey Show. One of the things that makes the Dave Ramsey Show unique from other shows is that we genuinely care about our listeners. That's why we are very intentional about choosing our advertisers. Blinds.com offers high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And then their customer service is truly unbeatable. They make it simple to shop for blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping right to your door. And Blinds.com will help you every step of the way, just like they've helped thousands of my listeners with free design help by phone and online. Plus, they guarantee the perfect fit. Go today and take advantage of this week's special offer. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on the air. This is the Dave Ramsey Show at 888-825-5225. Jackson's in Denver. Hi, Jackson. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I had a question. So as a little background, I'm a was a first-generation college student, and I've now found myself living somewhat of a cliche rich/poor lifestyle. Recently moved out of the Bay Area, now here in Colorado, and I'm fortunate enough to, land a pretty sought-after job in finance. About 4 months ago, I recently purchased a car, and my question to you is, I'm paying about $2,300 in rent at the moment, and I realized I bit off way more than I could chew, considering my current income, and I've accrued about $7,000 in credit card debt. I want to know if I'm making the right decision in downsizing and moving out of the downtown area that I currently reside in, and picking up a smaller place currently, and then keeping the car I'm currently making payments on, and just once COVID gets out of the picture, I commute to work.
Okay, and so what do you owe on the car?
I currently own about $21,000 left on the car.
And what is your income?
So my base is about 65, and then my bonus is about 55,000 to 60.
Okay, and you have $7,000 in credit card debt.
Correct.
And how much student loan debt?
0. I had 8 internships and had 2 jobs for college to pay it off.
Good. You're not afraid of work. That's good. Okay, and yeah, $2,300 is ridiculous in your situation. You do need to move down in rent because the rent money that you're paying is forcing your hand on other stuff, and it's what's caused the credit card debt. You didn't pay the rent with a credit card, but you gave all your money away to rent, and so you didn't have any money when you went to buy something, and you used a credit card because you're house poor.
Exactly.
It's eating your lunch. And so I want you on the cheapest possible thing, and then cut up the credit cards as soon as you get off the phone. And
will do, Dave. Will do.
And attack those cards. And let's get moved, and let's get on a tight budget. And you working 40 hours?
I'm working about 120 hours currently.
Wow. But no OT, huh?
No, it's salary based. It's a job in private equity.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Jackson, I'll tell you this, buddy. I love the idea that you already have the mindset of downsizing. That shows you willing to sacrifice. But here's the thing that I would be concerned about. Even if you downsize and you continue the habits you're doing, you're going to continue to have credit card debt. You're going to continue to have a car payment. So not only should you downsize, but you need a shift in your mindset and just how you're looking at money. It's got to be about cash, buddy. Your income is going to continue to go based on your age. You're making a heck of an income, and it's going to get bigger. What you've got to do is make sure that you say, if I don't have cash, I'm not doing it. Right? I'm not. And so I want you to go to zero and attack that credit card debt, then the car, and you say, I'm not going backwards anymore.
I mean, think about what it feel like to have absolutely no payments right now and be living in a cheap place and saving for your first house.
Yeah.
That's really only about a year away for you if you completely start focusing on this debt.
Because he's got a serious work ethic. I mean, that boy's going places.
Yeah, you're gonna be just fine, sir. You're doing really well. Yeah, you're making good decisions. Gary is in Lexington. Hi, Gary. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
All right. Just had a question. A few years ago, I had my grandparents had passed away, and they left a piece of land, a pretty significant piece of land, to me and my mother. And me and my wife had decided this year to build a house somewhere else because we didn't want to live there. We didn't really like the community. And now we're kind of in the position to where, and my mom has taken care of like everything with it. All these years, like even with taxes and stuff. And we were kind of wanting to get away from it. We kind of want to maybe sell our part. And I've talked with her a little bit about it, and I don't know if I don't think she wants to, because she's living in the house that it's our house that's on the farm as well. And I don't think she wants to sell it. And I don't know the process of morally how to do it without damaging anything. I just kind of want to know the process of what would be the process to get me started to get
how many acres?
Away. It's about 65 acres. It's a big piece of land.
Yeah. So what would be wrong with just platting it off and you guys take the portion that's not improved and sold that and left her with 30 acres in the house?
I've never thought about that.
I mean, she'd have plenty of room. She'd still be on the family ground.
Yep.
And you just sell off you'd have to just figure out how to configure it, get an engineering firm to help you draw the plat to where it's beneficial to your mom. We want to protect her. We want to protect the memories and the family as much, family homestead as much as we can, and we want to create a property line configuration that gives her privacy, gives her a sense that something's not built over on top of her, and that kind of a thing. Yeah. And you don't even have to take exactly half. You could take less.
Okay.
Be generous to her.
Okay. Yeah, I do. That's
you could take 25 acres and she got 40.
Yeah.
Depending on how the configuration works.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to look into that.
Gary, how receptive, how do you think she'll respond to that option?
You know, I think I never thought about presenting it like that.
Yeah.
I she would be okay with it because I lived there my whole life until this year.
How much road frontage is there?
We are kind of off of a main road. And the way that it's laid out though is there's only one entrance into the property. And I don't know if the way the trust is laid out, it says there always has to be an easeway into the property.
Yeah, there would have to be. I don't know. That's going to affect your configuration that I'm talking about. It's going to the more road frontage you've got, the easier this idea is. And it sounds like you have no road frontage. And so you're going to be split. You're going to be giving an easement to the new owner near her house. Is what it amounts to.
Yeah,
so now, is this property tillable? Is it being farmed, or is it wood? Or is it timber? What is it?
It is probably about 25 acres of it is cut, and then the rest of it is timber.
Okay. And how far? Where is it located? In Kentucky?
Yeah, it's in Kentucky. We're just south of Lexington, about 45 minutes in the London, Corbin area.
Yeah, beautiful area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, well, so
we just moved up a little bit.
Somebody might buy that almost as a hunting camp.
Yep.
Yeah, Yeah.
That's probably got some deer on it.
Yeah. And Gary, are you an only sibling?
Yes, it was left to me and my mother.
Okay.
Only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the way to look at it. And that solves the problem, and that way you're not running her off the property, which is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it legally, but it's going to be emotionally destructive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did not want to do, because we have a great relationship, and I don't want to do anything to tarnish that.
I guess the other possibility is, does she have any money?
She does not.
Okay. All right. So she can't buy you out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, but I know there's no way that she could.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right.
Well, I would tell you this, Gary. Don't let this be a fly-by conversation. I'd want you to really sit down and formally, talk to your mom, acknowledge what the land means and what it's meant to you, and wanting to honor her, and really help her understand this as a business transaction. Like, don't come in as Gary the son. Just kind of come in and really present it and lay it out, and help her to begin to process. I wouldn't expect her to give you an answer on the spot. Give her some time to process it, and then follow up with her in a day or two.
Yeah, just ask a lot of questions and give a lot of honor.
Yes.
Giving honor, it doesn't cost a thing, and it's appropriate in this situation.
Yeah.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're financially conscious, you know that healthcare expenses can take a big bite out of your budget. Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is here to help trim those expenses and make sure your family is cared for. CHM is not health insurance, but it is Christians helping other Christians by sharing each other's medical bills.
Most people have the means to pay for basic doctor services, but when it comes to something on a much larger scale, say several $1,000s for surgery or a hospitalization, folks are worried they'll be left to try and find a way to pay for that themselves.
Not too long ago, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and they really came through. So far, we've had over $180,000 worth of bills and got close to 75% in discounts. CHM shared the rest of the expenses.
To see if CHM is right for you and your budget, check out chministries.org/budget.
Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you're still looking for great Christmas deals, our team is using every reason they can to give stuff away. You can knock off up to about 90% off of a whole bunch of items at our Green Monday sale that's going on all week. Our famous $10 sale is still here. You can get any of our number one best-selling books for $10 each. Stock up on the books. That'll help you and your loved ones get out of debt, plan for retirement, become an everyday millionaire. Visit the online store at DaveRamsey.com. Petra is with us in Jackson, Wyoming. Hi, Petra. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So me and my husband and our daughter, we are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. And my question is basically about housing. So Jackson is super expensive to live in. And right now we are looking into buying something. And we kind of have 3 different options that we're looking at. We could buy an affordable home in Jackson, but with that, there's a lot of rules that go with that, so you don't really have much control about housing or your unit. So we don't really like that we were looking into buying a home that would be an hour away from Jackson and commuting, which is what a lot of people do. But then we're looking into spending more money on gas. It would be a little bit harder for me to find a job, and because I am a stay-at-home mom. And the last one was which is what we like the most, is we would stay in Jackson and we would continue to rent. And when we were looking into all the money that we have in saved up right now, that money would be increasing. So with the difference in gas and the increase, we would be able to save some too, even though we're spending money on the rent. So I didn't know what would be the right decision, and I'm kind of looking for a little guidance.
You don't have to move an hour outside of Jackson to get rid of restrictions.
That we can afford. They sell homes in Jackson too. It's just we can afford them.
Yeah, but I mean, you said the restrictions were too much, is what you didn't like.
So they have like a housing opportunity in town that they will sell units at the affordable housing for the workforce, I guess.
Yeah.
That you can afford. It's just they'll put restrictions on it,
and
I
don't disagree with you. I would do that. What's your household income?
We're at about 65.
Okay, and so it does require to get the price down that you get outside of Jackson. Been to Jackson Hole skiing many times. Been to Jackson many times. Wonderful town. But you're right. You're right. It is a resort price range, and there's a shortage of labor and all kinds of things. So, but you don't have to move an hour away to get the price down.
Well, we could do 30 minutes, but even those housing units are going for. If you look at our income, it's still going for the higher what we would like.
I don't believe you.
No?
I don't think you've gone shopping enough. Because, see, here's the thing. Okay. What you're presenting to me are three options, and none of them are good. And so I'm going with D, none of the above. An hour commute is no fun, renting is no fun, and restrictive housing in or restricted mess and quote affordable housing for workers is no good. So we've got to just keep searching to find another option. Anytime I'm getting ready to make a decision and all my options are bad, guess what? I'm getting ready to make a bad decision.
That's right.
And so you've got to have more options. You're going to have to. I don't know how we're going to skin the cat exactly, but some way we got to get his fur off. I mean, there's got to be another way of doing this.
Right. And one of the options is looking at and figuring out how to get your income up, or you continue to rent while you guys continue to save, or you look at relocating. I mean, in looking at this, I'm going to begin to make a decision based on the information I have. And so I want you to connect with a real estate agent and have them do some legwork for you so you can start to understand what those options really look like. Because driving an hour each way, you might be okay with that for a couple of months, but that's going to get old.
Yeah. No, I'm not signing up for that. Not in that situation. Hey, thanks for the call. Hey, I think you need more options.
I do, and I looked it up, Dave. The median home price in Jackson, Wyoming, is $1.6 million in 2020, trending up 23% year over year. That's astronomical. I've been to Jackson. I've been to Casper. I've been to Riverton, Wyoming. This is on another level.
Well, that's picking up the resort prices up around the ski slopes.
Okay,
and that's driving that way up.
I got you.
Down in town, that would not be true.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah, I can't believe it's true. That's like 8 times the national average.
Yeah, it's Wyoming.
Well, no, it's Jackson. I mean, it's a resort town. It's so you're going to have a higher thing. I mean, but. Yeah, there's something skewing that number. That number's off. I think. Anyway, all right. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Michael is in Washington, D.C. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
Great. How can we help?
I have a question. I've been following you for maybe 8 months, and I did the snowball effect. I paid off all my debt, all my bills, except one.
Good.
I paid off like maybe $24,000 worth of debt.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Now I have a car. It's a 2010 It's a 2016 Lexus RC Coupe 300. I traded in another car to get it, so I'm, like kind of in a hole. So it's worth $42,000. No, I owe $42,000. It's only worth $28,000. That's my only debt. I work 2 jobs, so I bring home $4,500 a month. So my question is, you think and my credit is pretty good now.
Mm-hmm.
I have no credit cards. I cut them up. So my question is, you think I should sell my car and get a loan and pay the difference, or just go through this as well?
I'd plow
That's
through
my
it.
Only debt.
Yeah, if those numbers are right, you're screwed. You're so far in the hole that selling the car, you're still going to have $30,000 in debt when you sell it.
And no car.
Yeah. Here's the thing. $24,000 you did in 1 year, right?
Yes.
So 2 more years of doing that, you're out of this thing.
Correct. Okay. That's why I was calling up, because I was thinking of, if I sell it, then I will only I owe 43, it's worth 26, 27. So that'll give me like 15, 17,000 to pay off with no car. But
well, I think you just get that. What you might want to do is pay it down to where you're at break even and then sell it.
Okay.
But in the meantime, drive it and just keep chunking. Because if you're dropping debt at $24,000 a year, that's $2,000 a month.
Right.
Then you're gonna in 8 or 10 months, you're gonna have this car paid down to even. Then you could sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And then buy something really super cheap, pay cash for it, and then save up and move up in car as you finish up your emergency fund.
Yeah, Michael, take all the money you were paying out on the other debt as you were working the snowball, and now direct that money toward this car. And it's going to take you a minute, but here's what I learned when I did my stupid many years ago. PD, as pre-Dave. I had an SUV payment, and it was $750 a month, which is just
Lord.
Plain stupid. I know, don't do that. I already had a flashback. But
chills.
The bottom line is once you work and you pay that off, each and every payment you make, it's more confirmation of the lesson, never again. And so that frustration and irritation as you stroke that check, that's what will make sure that you're never in this position again.
Yeah, I think it's going to take you about 10 months to get out of this thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best route. Much easier than trying to sell it while it's upside down.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Chris Hogan, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Daniel is in Salt Lake. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Thanks so much for taking my call. Got a couple questions. Me and my wife, we make around $100,000 a year. We have no credit card debt, no student loan debt. We have a car payment of, or the total is about $14,000. But my problem is, in January. I'm leaving my job to go to school full time. So I'm going to be taking a huge pay cut and probably just working like 2 days a week. So, and we also have probably about $90,000 in cash in my bank. So I'm trying to think, what is the best option like right now? Should I just pay off my wife's car just for the full cash, even though we're taking probably a $40,000 pay cut for this year?
Because you're taking a $40,000 pay cut.
Yeah, stroke that check today. Yeah.
Not even though, but because you are. You pay it off today.
Okay.
Or sell it, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to go, bud.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Okay.
So what are you doing? What are you going back to school for?
Biology. I'm going to try to go into wildlife management or wildlife biologist or something. It's just something I've always wanted to do, and I've been working in the hotel industry for my whole life, and it's been fun. It's been, it's made me good money and made a living off of it, but it's just I'm kind of ready to go do something that I really enjoy.
So what's your wife make?
She makes, this year she's getting close to 60. She owns her own photography business.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done really well just the past 3 years, and she just keeps making more. So she's doing really well.
Wonderful. Okay. And so you're going to pay for school out of the 90.
Correct.
Okay. And cover living expenses shortfalls if there are any. But I think you need to adjust. I don't think there need to be any. I think you need to adjust your lifestyle to be within her income.
Right.
Do you all have kids, Daniel?
No, sir.
Okay. Because my question would be this. I mean, I love the idea that you have this wildlife thought and you wanting to go down that path, but why not work and go to school at night and knock out some of these prerequisites at a community college for much cheaper and then transfer that to a 4-year institution?
He's in the hotel business. He ain't working right now anyway.
And I think I will, maybe after the semester. It's just been, I'm 30 years old, so it's been a while since I've been to college. I'm going back to college, so I'm kind of just starting off slow. I probably maybe by the end of the year I could bump up my work schedule. It's just kind of a scary thought, taking a pay cut.
Yeah.
One other thing too. So I'm going to pay off my car. I years ago, probably, I don't know, 2014, I probably spent $1,500 on buying Bitcoin, and I probably made $120,000 off of it. So it was such a small amount. I bought it and I just left it, and I never did anything with it. I know it's very risky and everything, but I didn't really put any money into it. What do you guys think about that? Is
Wait a minute, are you saying you can cash it out today for $100,000?
For sure.
Okay. So by not just listen to me just a second. Okay. There's a process in finance called sunk cost analysis. All right. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't cash it out today, in the morning you have reinvested $100,000 into Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
That should scare your brains out. It's not 1,500. It's 100,000. Every day you leave it there, you are reinvesting into this again.
Right.
By nightfall, dude, cash it.
Okay.
Bitcoin is
it's
going
over
bye-bye.
50% of your freaking net worth is on the roulette table on one roll of the dice.
It's in code.
Yeah, if you really can cash it out, and you may find out that this is funny money, but I hope you can.
I hope you can too.
And
run,
run
away, run away.
Yeah,
this is one of those things, you guys, where, again, you're hearing about this stuff out there, and it sounds too good to be true. It is, and you got to be careful. You really do. I've talked to a lot of people that have been burned on this, and unfortunately have gone the route of even leveraged investing schemes, which is pulling money out of their house to invest, which is an absolute no-no. And so just be smart, do long-term investing. Whenever you try to get rich quick, what I've found is you end up getting broke fast. And so you want to have a mindset of building wealth over time.
I hope that you can cash it out when you go to do it tonight. I'm suspect when I hear 1,500 turns into 100,000. I'm really suspect that you're getting. I hope you can. I hope you can. I'll just leave it at that. I hope you don't find other things when you go try to cash it out. But those numbers are bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And And if you are able to cash it out, the other danger is that you actually pulled off this crap once, and it's going to tempt you to do it again. So, but you do whatever you want to do. But I am not a fan of ultra high risk investments, and at a minimum, that's what we would call Bitcoin. At a minimum, we could call it a lot of other stuff too.
A whole lot of things.
But yeah. An alternative currency. Well,
Silly.
Even if it is an alternative currency, I don't buy currencies.
Well, and the other side is, if you can't do that, the other phone call you need to make is to a tax ELP, so you can understand the realized gain on that, because you are going to deal with Uncle Sam on the growth. And again, I think, Daniel, you walking through the process and being very intentional with this. And on the other side too, with this wildlife thing that you're wanting to pursue, I want you to have a burning passion for it, not just be interested in it, because you're about to take a whole nother shift in life. And I hope you're not doing that just to get away from the hotel industry. There are a lot of things that you can do without making this kind of lifestyle change.
Yeah, that's true. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Nebraska's on the line. Logan is calling. Hey, Logan, what's up?
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Ramsey, Mr. Hogan. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
Thanks to you guys. My wife and I, we're 29, 27. We're on baby step 7.
Way to go.
We're just having a lot of fun. So thank you for your teaching and for God's wisdom.
Thank you.
My question today, and I come at it from two different angles. One, as an individual, and the second, as a coordinator. I work with a lot of farmers, and I have farmed in the past as well. My question is, how in the world do you get started farming, how do you get started farming without so much debt? And then as a coordinator, my question is, how do I help those farmers who are in massive amounts of debt slowly start to get their way out?
Well, that's exactly how you do it. Slowly, you're going to get out a little bit at a time. And the problem is that with most farmers is they have just accepted, like with a lot of small business people, they've just accepted that the only way to do it is debt.
Yep.
And then they get real mad. Dave Ramsey doesn't understand farming. Well, yes, I do. I understand business, and I understand what a $500,000 freaking tractor looks like, too. And so I get it. I understand. I'm sitting in a $70 million building that I paid cash for. So the doing this broadcast from a studio that cost millions of dollars. So I understand large capital purchases in order to do business. Did I start there? No. So if I was starting out farming today and I said, okay, I'm not going to borrow money, how am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to do it with a cheap, used, old piece of crap tractor, and I'm going to pay cash for it, and I'm going to lease somebody's land because I don't have the money to buy the land. And by the way, that's how I started this business. I started with using somebody else's studio, and I rented our office space until we could save up and pay cash for it. And I didn't accept the idea that the only way you can do real estate is with debt. Don't accept the premise.
Yeah.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Chris Hogan, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. We're taking your calls about your life and your money, common sense for your dollars and cents, teaching you to live on less than you make, a concept Congress can't grasp. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jim is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with our first question of the hour. Hey, Jim, how are you?
I am great. Thank you, Dave and Chris, for taking my call. My wife and I have become DECA millionaires and have been very blessed and fortunate. We have no children. And we have 2 nieces and a nephew that we're not terribly close to, but they're in their 20s and good people. A school teacher, manages a restaurant, those sorts of things, but they are certainly not ready to have multiple millions of dollars dumped on them. We've already funded our foundation and things, and we were wondering just what you guys thought regarding whether it's appropriate to reach out to them and say, guys, you want to, undergo a little teaching and learning, and I don't want to micromanage. What would you do if suddenly you got several $1 million? What would be the plan for your life? Because without that, we just feel like it'd be giving them a loaded gun.
Well, Jim, you're absolutely right, buddy. Congratulations, first and foremost, on you all working very hard, being intentional, and truly building a new legacy. And I agree with you. I think you've got every opportunity to be able to use this as a learning lesson for them to go through Financial Peace University, for them to begin to understand the things that you've learned and really treating it as such. Believe it or not, you have the ability to put any kind of criteria on here that you want. As you look at this, and the way we view it is, it's the Lord's money. You've been blessed and to be a good steward of it. And so being a good steward would be teaching them and guiding them and making sure they're prepared to be able to handle this stuff the right way.
Money, when it comes to folks, and you've experienced this, Jim, and so have I, so has Chris, whether it comes quickly or whether it comes slowly, it magnifies the person. It makes you more of what you already are. If you have a problem with anger, you become a tyrant. If you have integrity, you get extremely concerned about integrity. If you're kind and generous, you become outlandishly generous. And so that'll happen to them. The good parts of their character will be magnified. The bad parts of their character will be magnified. It happens to all of us. Money's a magnifier. That's what it does. Money doesn't make you have problems. You already had problems. It just magnifies them. Your marriage is weak. You get a big pile of money, it'll end your marriage. And so you're exactly right. The loaded gun is a good metaphor here. Mm-hmm. You're handing a loaded gun to someone who's never pulled a trigger before. That is a scary thing. So we
don't want to micromanage. I don't want to tell them.
No, I don't want to micromanage either. I just don't want to get shot.
Yeah, exactly so. And, and obviously by the time they would inherit this, we wouldn't be around. And I do think some kind of a trust may be in order or something.
Absolutely.
And if they aren't comfortable with it or we're not comfortable with them, I'm okay saying, have a great life and do your thing.
Yeah, we love you and good luck and hope everything works out. Well, I don't accept your conditions. Well, you don't really have a choice.
Right.
The only way you get the money is with the conditions. And so, because I'm concerned for you, that this not be a problem for you, but instead is a blessing.
Right.
And Jim, I've talked to people that have laid out some stipulations for their kids, and if the kids don't abide by that, then they've also designated a charity that would be the recipient, or multiple charities that would be the recipient, or an amount going to the church. And so I think you can have that primary and educate them, but you and your wife also have that backup plan. But you also said something that's crucial. You reserve the right to make changes, and that you do.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think it's the kindest way to do this. And your spirit is not one of overt control freak. Mm-hmm. Your spirit is just one of concern.
Yeah.
And if they interpret that as overt control freak, that alone could be a disqualifier.
I mean, I think back of we're 62 and 61 now. I think back at when I was 20 something. If somebody had given me this amount of money without an extreme amount of guidance, it would have been a train wreck. It would have been, and we never would have accomplished the things we've been blessed to do.
Exactly. I mean, I always tell folks, one of the metaphors I use when I'm teaching on this is my son comes in, he's 14 years old, Dad, I want to buy a brand new Corvette. So my first car when I'm 16, and I'm like, no, I've seen you drive. You're incompetent. Mm-hmm. You're going to get an old Chevette with a gerbil under the hood, And so, and then when you are faithful in the little things, then you'll be given more to manage, and that's what Scripture says, right? And so, yeah, I'm gonna say, you know, we're getting ready to give you a Corvette, but you're gonna kill yourself with the thing if you don't get driving lessons.
And they have no idea. I mean, I'm guessing our families think we have, you know, a couple of $1 million or a little more than that. They have no idea that, you know, you put a zero on that. And it's, you know, we have a sizable foundation that does a lot of things. But
so, Jim, if you work all your life, you get to be the rich uncle that everybody wanted.
Yeah, I think so, I guess.
I just thought of that. You're the rich uncle everybody wants. Oh, this is great.
And we, you know, I just, you know, you only get one chance to handle this right, and by the time it goes wrong, you're in heaven already, and I just don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, I think you sit down with them and you begin the process of discussing this and say, you know, would you like us to show you how to handle money so that we feel comfortable leaving you some? And if you would like that, if you would like that, that's not a control freak thing. It's I don't want to hand someone who's never driven a car the keys to a brand new Corvette with a 500 horsepower engine under the hood. I just don't want to do that. It's not wise for you. It's be harmful for everybody, including all of us driving around you.
At what point would you reveal the actual numbers?
Pretty early, if they are open. You know, it depends on if you get a receptive spirit.
Right.
But if you got somebody that's rebellious and just throws their back up, then you know,
it tells you.
First, you're going to know that in one conversation or two.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to decide, oh, I'm not going to be a jerk based on the numbers. So they're just going to show you that they're a jerk, right? Or they're going to go, yes, I would be honored to have someone that has built wealth show me how to build wealth and manage wealth. Yeah. I mean, what a gift.
Yeah, it is a gift. And Jim, I hope you and your wife are enjoying it and doing all kinds of things now and giving to some charities now.
You said you got a big foundation.
Yes, like that is amazing, buddy. Enjoy it. Congratulations.
Very
Job
well done.
Yes.
Very well done. Love it. Good. Live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. We've got about 967 people on our team right now, and over 150 of them are on our creative team alone. We got a lot of creatives in the building. We act as actually one big in-house agency that supports all the business units inside Ramsey. And our team is currently looking for some product designers with strong visual design skills and a background in user experience and user research. If you've been impacted by this mission and you want to spread this message of hope with your creative talents, well, apply for a position here. Find out about all the available jobs at daveramsey.com/careers. We'll hire about 250 people in the coming 12 months. And so all kinds of different positions, but certainly a bunch will be in the creative and in the technology fields. And we're really doing work that matters. We were voted one of the best places to work in the United States by Inc. magazine last year. So apply today at daveramsey.com/careers. Check out all the jobs, but certainly the creative ones. All right, Corey is with us in Phoenix. Hi, Corey. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve, man. What's up?
I was going to ask you about cryptocurrency, but I think I kind of got where you stand on that from your last call. The last caller that asked about it, but I'm a small business owner. I've been following you guys for you specifically for 5 or 7 years. I don't have any debt. I'm 32 years old, and I was just curious as far as for a business, as far as working with terms with your suppliers, or net 30, net 60. If you include that as debt or credit, or if you see that as a necessary part of doing business, just because I don't want to take on debt necessarily, but sometimes I just struggle to get the materials and stuff like that for certain jobs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depending on how you're doing the job, you can take enough deposit up front to cover materials and keep things moving. Certainly companies, we do a lot of business with all kinds of vendors, and they bill us and we pay them. But we don't sign up for or take product or services off of a vendor if we don't have the money to pay them and hope it works out. Yeah. That would be debt, even if it is a net 30. Now, we clear if we have an invoice come in this week during the week and it matches with a PO that was already in place in our accounting system, we will clear it on Tuesday morning. So we pay you inside of 7 days. We don't ride people for 30 days and that kind of stuff. Now, it has to match up and it has to be an accurate invoice, and sometimes it takes a little while to get all that stuff done. But if it hits our system, our accounting system, and it matches, we pay it almost instantaneously. And so, technically I owe them money. But technically I owe the guy that cuts my grass money after he cuts my grass and he sends me a bill and I pay him. It's the same thing. I pay it the day I get the bill, and or within a day or two of getting the bill. So it's not any different than that. But I don't take a vendor's services or wares and hope it all works out and I can pay them. Yeah, because that sets you up for problems. Then you are using them as a bank.
Yeah, and Corey, I want to invite you to get over to our Entree Leadership. Go to entreleadership.com. Inside of that's really where we're walking with business owners and leaders, and really helping them not only inside of running the business, but also with the people portion. And inside of that, we talk about retained earnings, which becomes really the thing that as a business owner, you're wanting to make sure you're setting aside some of the earnings. So later you become your own bank. You become your own safety net as you're running your business.
And Chris, I'll circle back around on the cryptocurrency question again. I don't teach people to invest in volatile investments that are high risk.
Right.
And so I wouldn't have you invest in the dollar as a currency. I wouldn't have you invest in the pound, the yen, as a currency, the peso as a currency. You can play currencies like you play commodities, and you can play cryptocurrency like you play commodities. Now, if you play commodities, you can make, you can put in $5,000 and make 50 grand. I mean, you can make 10x in a matter of a few weeks, or you can put in $5,000 and get nothing. And that's pretty much the same thing with cryptocurrency or playing the currency market. I don't play currency markets. The people that are doing cryptocurrency are doing it for one of two reasons. They are either trying to get rich quick, and they think it's going to go to the moon, and they think they're going to make a ton of money, and they might. They might. Just like if you played a commodity. Just like if you put the money on a football game. I mean, you could go to, one of the betting services and bet 10-1 odds, and, you could get rich quick. I mean, you could, but you could lose it all too. And these are high risk endeavors.
Right.
It is truly a gamble more than an investment.
Yeah.
And I don't really do gambling with money. It's too hard to come by. I invest when something's steady and predictable. The second reason people do cryptocurrency is they're all enamored with the philosophy of it, that it's outside of regulatory guidelines.
Yes.
And there's it's kind of a libertarian thing of I can go do what I want to do off the grid, so to speak.
Rogue.
Except that you're actually more on the grid than you've ever been in your life when you're doing this stuff. But but I mean, it's this idea that it's outside the purview of nations and governments to control it. And it's kind of got its own little thing out here, its own ethos that it can run in, and they love that idea. And that's all fine. I can't believe Dave Ramsey is as libertarian freedom as you are that you don't support cryptocurrency. I don't support it because it's a high risk investment. And I don't tell people put money in something I don't put money in.
There it is.
And so that's the thing. I just don't do it. Yeah. And and the problem is when you get to chasing get rich quick, they get the fever and they stop using critical thinking skills, and then they become very defensive as if it's not a high risk investment, because in their mind they had to push that high risk aside in order to make the play.
That's right. To be able to rationalize
and they had to put it behind a wall.
Yes.
And so because it's behind the wall, then anyone who says cryptocurrency is a bad idea, then they're evil. And when so all the cryptocurrency guys hate me. And there's websites. Dave Ramsey's wrong. Dave Ramsey's wrong. Dave Ramsey's wrong. No, I'm not. And the same thing with the gold guys. We tell people not to buy gold.
Gold, silver.
We tell people not to buy whole life. Those guys don't like us.
Right.
We tell people not to lease cars. Those guys don't like us. But all we're concerned about is you people. We're just trying to help you.
Yep.
And so, you can go, and I don't, you can go and put $100,000 or $15,000 or $10,000 or $2,000 on the table, on a blackjack table, and you can do that. Or you can bet it on a football game if you want. You can play high-risk stuff if you want to. It's your money. You get to decide. But you're listening to me because Chris has data and decades of experience that show you how to become wealthy.
Yeah, and do it the right way. And do it in a way that you don't put your family at risk, you don't put your future at risk, you don't put your health at risk. It is just really one of those, this recipe is a plan that works. And in looking at that, people work hard for money. The last thing I'm going to do is put it on something like a cryptocurrency that is decentralized, has no regulations.
But if you have convinced yourself that commodities or day trading or cryptocurrency or blackjack is a sure thing because you got a system, then what you have done is you put your emotions and your critical thinking skills behind an emotional wall so that you can accept this and do it. But you've screwed yourself in the process. Now I've got a relative that loves to play poker, and he loses like everybody does when you're playing poker. And so he'll go to Vegas and lose, $4,000, $5,000 or whatever on a weekend, and he has a great time. And for him, that's recreation, and he just budgeted that to spend.
Right.
And so, but he didn't see it as a way to become wealthy.
Right.
But he enjoys the card game.
Right. And he's budgeted for it.
I don't get that, but he does.
Yeah.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. One of the things that makes the Dave Ramsey Show unique from other shows is that we genuinely care about our listeners. That's why we are very intentional about choosing our advertisers. Blinds.com offers high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and then their customer service is truly unbeatable. They make it simple to shop for blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping right to your door. And Blinds.com will help you every step of the way, just like they've helped thousands of my listeners with free design help by phone and online. Plus, they guarantee the perfect fit. Go today and take advantage of this week's special offer. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Marilee is with us. Hi, Marilee. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. Where do you live?
Actually, we're from Dalton, Georgia.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad a run up to Nashville.
No.
But welcome, and you're here to do a debt-free scream.
Yes, sir.
How much have you paid off?
$29,000.
Wow. How long did this take?
20 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
It was $28,000.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm actually an analyst at a private university.
Okay, cool. Very good.
So what caused this to happen, Marilee? Why did you wake up all of a sudden and say, enough's enough, it's got to get out of here?
Well, actually, it was all student loans. And so whenever I graduated, I looked at how much I owed, and I thought, that's a big number. And but I didn't think too much about it. And so I moved out on my own and lived there for about a year in an apartment. And one day I was going to go to work, but it was raining outside, and so I decided to turn on the windshield wipers, but they didn't work. And so I took it to a repair shop, and it was going to be $300 to get new windshield wiper motors.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wipers have motors.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes, they do.
And so $300 was something that I could pay for, but it was actually a lot for me. And I thought, this is big. You know, if I claim that I can live on my own and be financially stable, then why is $300 such a big deal to me? So that was a big deal. But then shortly after about a year of living on my own, my lease was up in my apartment, and then I realized I'm living in an unsafe area of town. So I decided to move back to my parents' house for about a month or two, and then I was walking in the woods and just talking to the Lord and walking the dog, and God brought up the idea of just paying off my student loans. And I said, you know, what are you talking about? Like, that's so much money. I don't know if I could do that and still live at my parents' house for a while. And you know, he said back, you know, Marilee, I know you can do this because you've got grit. And that was the first idea of thinking, like, maybe it is possible. And so I went home and I talked to my mom about the idea, and of course she was on board. She loves me, so and so yeah. Once she said it was okay, decided to, well, that was right whenever Everyday Millionaire is released, and so I read that book cover to cover, and that really started lighting the fire. Yeah. And so from there, I just created a little timeline, and it was going to be August of 2020, and then it ended up being June with all the momentum that carries up with it.
Yeah. Way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
How's it feel?
Amazing. It feels like Genie from Aladdin at the very end, whenever Aladdin shows the lamp to Genie and he says, Genie, you're free, and then the shackles fall off and he doesn't know what to do. So that it feels a lot like that. It's just that moment of true freedom.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So we've got, how old are you?
I am 29 today.
Hey, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
So 27-year-old is listening to us right now.
Yeah.
You did this in 20 months, and they're saying, I wonder if I should do this. What do you tell them, and how do you tell them that you got out of debt? What's the secrets?
Oh, yeah. The biggest thing is just start with your foundation. You know, why do you want to get out of debt? Do you want to reduce stress? Do you want to start building a legacy? Are there people coming up behind you that you want to be able to support? And then also, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, just take on whatever side job you can. I worked every side hustle I could think of that would just give me a little bit of extra cash over time.
Cool. What was your most productive, the side hustle that made you the most money?
Definitely cleaning a chiropractic office twice a month.
Okay. That'll work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then also helping teach dance in the evenings at a local dance studio.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah. And then the last thing is just making sure that you have a community-driven outlet, you know, because setting a goal like this is just not, for me, it's not attainable by myself. So I needed a community, and that's what I would encourage for anybody else. I mean, I had Unity Dance Troupe in Cleveland, and we would go there and rehearse weekly for fall and spring productions. Mm-hmm. And that I had people walking through the debt-free journey with me starting day one and carried all the way through to the finish line. And I'm super thankful for every single one of them there.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing what happens when you get some people around you?
Yeah.
You know, it just helps you stay motivated, and you can look to them even when you get tired, right? And get your momentum back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They were definitely with me whenever life happened, and then they were also with me whenever the highs happened as well. So they're really joyous moments.
Yeah. Way to go. Proud of you.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
you brought Mom with you to cheer you on?
I did, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Mom was obviously a cheerleader. And
Yes.
they were obviously cheerleaders. You got to have cheerleaders in your corner. It's not good that man be alone.
Exactly.
You know, we're not designed for that. We're designed to be in community. That's why we've got it tied into Ramsey Plus and into Financial Peace University to make it all part of that. So.
And the YouTube chat.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nobody alone there. Most people will follow you home. Oh, my gosh. Way to go. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done, hero. You took control of your life, and on your birthday, you're doing your debt-free scream.
Yes.
There's a lot of dignity in this. Well done. Very, very well done. How's it feel?
Amazing. Yeah.
Good for you. All right, Marilee, we got a copy. You've already got Chris's book.
She read it, Dave, cover to cover.
Well, there you go.
This woman
How to
is
be
smart.
a millionaire. The
She's
everyday
smart.
millionaire. All right, we'll give you another book. You just tell Kat what you want. Whatever you want out there, you can have one of them. It's all good. Very cool. Well, thank you for coming all the way to Nashville to share with us.
Yes.
Very good job.
I was so excited to come.
Marilee from Dalton, Georgia. $29,000 paid off in 20 months, making $28,000 a year. Man, it's impressive. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
I love it.
Boy.
Well done. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. You can find out why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, new promos all the time. Always use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, today's question comes from Andrew in North Dakota. He says, I'm 20 years old and I'm working on baby step 3. I was wondering if it would be smart to pull money from a non-retirement account, which is invested in mutual funds. Its current value is $4,000. I have $2,500 saved up so far, and my goal is $8,000. Well, in looking at this, Andrew, you don't tell me what your income is. So there's a couple schools of thought here. You could cash flow it, right, and leave the mutual funds alone and get there and get your emergency fund built up. Or, based on income, if it's too tight, then you could cash it out. And looking at this, it would depend on income flow. I'd like to leave those mutual funds there and let them grow if at all possible.
Yeah, I think he's not going to be able to.
Okay.
Because he's got a small emergency fund goal, $8,000. So that tells me his income's low.
It's tight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking you use it. Besides that, Andrew, you should have already cashed it out when you started the process.
Yeah.
Any non-retirement money you've got of any kind should have been used for baby steps 1 through 3 from the first moment you started on this process. And so, yeah, I see a couple of reasons there to go ahead and cash it out. I love investing, like Chris was saying. Keep leaving it alone. I think that'd be wonderful. But I kind of smell in these numbers that you need to do this.
Yeah.
And it needs to be in an emergency fund, not in a mutual fund. You'll get to your mutual fund investing later, and you don't use mutual funds for your emergency fund because...
That's right.
Here's the thing. Emergency funds are not investments. They're insurance. That's right. And insurance costs you money to protect the things that makes you money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is. So the emergency fund is not designed to make you rich.
Nope.
It's designed to protect the things that are going to make you rich, like not cashing out your 401k to fix your transmission because you had an emergency fund.
That's right. And you want to keep it liquid and just in a money market account.
Yep.
So you can get to it. But here's job one, you guys. If you end up using it, thank goodness you had it. But job one becomes to replace it.
Yep.
You always want to keep that amount in there.
Yeah. Very well done.
Yes.
Good stuff. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Scripture of the day, Hebrews 10:35-36. Therefore do not throw away your confidence, which has a great reward. For you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what is promised. Helen Keller said, never bend your head, always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money right in front of you. Tracy is with us next in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hi, Tracy. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How can we help?
So I have about $100,000 in student loans that I've had on a IBR, income based repayment plan, for the last 13 years.
Translation, you're getting nowhere.
Right. And the reason why, I was raising 4 children by myself, and now I have one the last one, who will be leaving the nest soon. But anyways, so I have 7 years left on this IBR, and I was just wondering, I have paid off about $42,000 in the last 3 years of debt, and I was wondering now where I should fit the student loans in. And it is one fully consolidated student loan. It's not a bunch of multiple little ones.
What's your income?
About $56,000.
Okay. All right. And the last one's leaving the nest.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if I woke up in your shoes, how old are you?
43.
Okay. If I woke up in your shoes and it was me, knowing what I know now, here's what I would do. I would increase the intensity with which you're budgeting. Really tight budget on paper in great detail. I want your budget super detailed. Every month, every dollar has a name before the month begins, and then squeeze it. And I'm going to increase my income. I'm going to pick up some extra income from somewhere, doing something. Tutoring, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. And then I'm going to pay this off in about 3 years.
Okay.
$33,000 a year for 3 years, and you're done.
Okay.
You're a survivor, Mama Bear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just feels like I've been on this road for so long.
Yeah, and it's time to get off of it. It's time to finish it now.
Yeah, you have.
You focused on everything else but this.
That's right.
Because you had to raise kids and you did everything else. Now it's time to punch this thing in the nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tracy, you did this as a single mom of 4. You've walked it. You have given those kids what they needed, and now it's time to focus on your financial future.
Yeah, you need to get free.
You do. And I want to tell you, job well done on your kids. But now it's your
they're
turn.
all doing well. They're all successful, you know.
Right.
So
none of them.
The point is, it's time for you. It's time for you to give yourself the gift of freedom.
Yes.
And that's going to require deep sacrifice, and you're going to go crazy, and you're going to sacrifice, and you're going to go nuts. But for the first time in a long time, it's going to be all about you.
Yes. And Dave, I'm going to tell you, there's something else she needs? Boundaries. She's going to have to with these kids, to not make sure that they're not trying to reach back and trying to ask for something else, to really have a finely clear boundary on you focusing on this student loan debt and you focusing on self.
Tracy, hold on. I'm going to have Kelly put you into Ramsey Plus and sign you up for Financial Peace University and the Every Dollar app and the Baby Steps Tracker app. We're going to give you all the tools you need to do this. I predict you're out of debt in 2.5 years if you do what I'm talking about. And for the first time in a long time, you're going to feel free. Well done. Yes. You're going to get there. We're going to help you. We'll walk with you. Claire is in Greenville, South Carolina. Hi, Claire. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I'm a little nervous. I've listened to you for years, and this is the first time I've ever called in. My husband and I have about $4,000 of medical bills that we've accrued this year. And we've paid off $5,000 already.
Good.
So we're trying to pay off the remaining $4,000
and we can't seem to get ahead on it. So we wanted to call in and see what you suggest.
You can't seem to get what?
We can't seem to get pay off our medical bills.
Oh, you can't find the money. You haven't been able to pull it off. I see. But you already paid off $5,000. How'd you do that?
So we're putting a max amount that we can into our HSAs, and we're doing that monthly. And so then we'll pay, down a little bit at a time. So we've been putting about $400 per month into our HSA accounts.
Well, then if you clean that right back out in 10 months, you'd be done.
Yeah, so we have a fully stocked emergency plan, but should we leave that alone and just keep working this plan?
There's nothing to keep you from moving some of that money into the HSA and then pay the bill out of the HSA.
Yeah.
So move $4,000 out of your emergency fund. This is an emergency. You have a medical bill. Move $4,000 out of it into your. Are you out of debt? Except this?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Move $4,000 out of your emergency fund into your HSA and write the check out of your HSA and be done with it.
All right.
And then rebuild your emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
Then slow down your HSA at that point and use that money to rebuild the emergency fund.
Right.
You can do this, Claire.
All right.
You can do it.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go. Good stuff. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Brittany's in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Brittany. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Great. How can we help?
Oh, my gosh. I'm a little nervous. Just a little bit of information. I'm a first-generation college student. I'm 25 years old. I finished my bachelor's and my master's degree.
In what?
And I studied sport and event management in my bachelor's, and then for my master's, I studied organizational leadership and nonprofit.
Okay.
So I was really fortunate to get my dream job, which is in the sport industry. I'm an event planner on national sporting events that come to the city, and just the industry is so competitive. And I moved out of state alone for this opportunity, but unfortunately, I only make $32,000 a year, and I have $60,000 in student loan debt. So my schedule makes it really hard to get a consistent second job because I don't work a typical 9 to 5. Sometimes I'll work evenings, sometimes I'll work weekends, sometimes I'll work the whole week from morning to night. And so I'm debating on if I should leave my dream job to get a bigger shovel and then try to get back in. But I just worked really, really hard to get here. But I'm also tired of being so financially stressed.
Yeah. Well, you just need a part-time job that's flexible, like delivering pizzas or something. You can turn that on and turn it off. You can turn Uber on, turn Uber off. Whenever you're able to work, you work. Mm-hmm. But when you're working your day job, you don't. But you're not prohibited from doing a part-time job. You're prohibited from doing one that you can't turn on and turn off.
Right. I guess whenever I've tried applying to a couple of part-time jobs, if I only want to work weekends, a lot of them haven't been flexible with my schedule because I'll have 15 to 20 events a year. And so it's not very consistent, so it's been kind of hard.
You're having events right now?
Well, not right now because of the pandemic. I'm really lucky to even have
yeah, so you're not working a bunch of events right now. Get a job.
Yeah, you got a whole lot of flexibility right now.
Well, our events technically start in February.
No, they don't.
I'm just trying to...
Not this February.
Well, in the moment, we're planning as things should...
Yeah, that's fine. Right. So go work January and February and make you some money. Yeah. And depending on how much they gear back up with them. You cannot use this as an excuse to not get a second job. You've got to go get one. And that's the only way you're going to do this. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.